This video is brought to you thanks to the generosity of our patrons. If you'd like to support HeliSimmer.com and all that we do, please visit patreon.com/HeliSimmer. Hello everyone, welcome to this new video of the weekly flyby. This is episode 55 and we are covering quite some nice subjects this week. We will kick off this episode with what is probably the news of the month in the flight simulation community, as Microsoft finally announced the official release date and pricing for their upcoming new sim, Microsoft Flight Simulator. August the 18th is the release date for the sim, which will be out in 3 versions. The standard edition will cost around $60 and it will come with 20 aircraft and 30 custom-built airports. The deluxe edition brings 5 other new aircraft and 5 other new airports for a total of 25 aircraft and 35 airports, and it will cost you around $90. Now the premium deluxe edition will build upon the previous versions with 5 more aircraft and 5 more additional airports. That's 30 aircraft and 40 custom-built airports. This version will come out at the price of $120. Now, let me pause there for a second and get something out of the way right now, as I have seen a lot of misinformation out there about this. Microsoft Flight Simulator is not just coming with up to 40 airports. Over 37,000 airports and airfields are represented in the sim, just like in the previous versions. Actually, this version comes with more airports than those editions, some 2,000 or 3,000 more airports than FSX, for example. But from these 37,000 airports, we will get up to 40 custom-developed replicas of their counterparts. I hope that clears things out, as I have seen a lot of people complaining about Microsoft Flight Simulator only bringing 40 airports. What about VR and helicopters? That is coming as well. Not right now, but it's coming. If I had to guess, I'd say VR is probably coming up next on a patch or an update after release within the next few weeks or months. Helicopters, though, will take longer. Remember that the development team promised to contact us here at HeliSimmer.com so that we could help them get helicopters done properly. But Microsoft has to launch the sim, get VR out, stabilize everything, and then work on these particular machines, which are really hard to get right. Meanwhile, those of you who enjoy fixed-wing aircraft can still take a look at the sim. Oh, and if you are not sure if you are willing to toss out $60 for the game, keep this in mind. You can subscribe to Microsoft Xbox Pass, which costs you $1 for the first month and about $5 per month afterwards. In this subscription, you will find the standard edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator, so you can try it for only a few bucks. It couldn't be easier or cheaper than that. We will be going back to Microsoft Flight Simulator as we publish another article about it, but let's visit X-Plane now and let you folks know that VSKYLABS released the FA Tensor 600X or X-Plane. The FA Tensor 600X is a 2-seat tandem autogyro prototype built in Germany, and it was designed for urban air mobility, transport, and surveillance missions. This project is part of the VSKYLABS test pilot series, designed specifically for use with X-Plane's experimental flight model, and it's compatible with version 11.41 of the sim. I also tried it with version 11.50 without any issues, so I would say it's compatible with the current beta of the sim as well. Check out the link on the video description to find out where to buy it. XPRealistic Pro is a small tool that promises increased realism and immersion of X-Plane, and it's back with a new version. Version 2 was released some days ago and I have reviewed it. This version builds on top of the previous one, which I complained at the time that it didn't have any cool stuff for helicopters. Well, after that review and getting in touch with the author, surprise surprise, we now have some helicopter stuff for this version. With XPRealistic Pro, you can set up how the wind is heard from inside the cockpit, for example. You can also do other stuff such as giving your sim a most realistic feel to it when starting up the engine and getting the aircraft to shake some more, or perhaps you'd like to get some airport ambient sound. There are over 38 different effects which you can customize, so you have full control over what you see and listen to. including blade flapping. During some flight regimes, the blades of a helicopter tend to sound like they are beating the air into submission. This is usually easier found on two-blade rotor systems such as the Huey, for example, which gives the helicopter its distinct, wonderful sound. But all rotor systems are prone to this. I will save you from all the tech stuff. The fact is that the phenomena exists, and it's sometimes a great audible cue that could inform you of certain flight conditions in which your helicopter is operating. XPRealistic Pro 2 adds this to the mix of everything else it does already, which is rather nice. Because of this, and because of everything else XPRealistic Pro already did great in the past, we gave it a perfect 10 out of 10 score. That is no easy feat. Check out the link on the video description for the full review and to learn where you can purchase it. Dainese and Fabio Bellini are close to finishing the new Dolomites 3D scenery for X-Plane. The team has been releasing portions of this huge project, and those who already have one of the previous packs will have a discount of $5 on this release. As usual, the scenery will be a dream for helicopter pilots with lots of heliports and points of interest. In fact, the scenery covers an area of 1,200 square kilometers of scenic mountain scenery, and it includes 2 airports and 14 heliports in strategic locations. Many valleys were added, and the team hand-built 10 3D models of mountains and groups, as well as all the vegetation. This looks like another masterpiece from the Kings of Mountains, so make sure you check it out on the link we have on the video description. And we're back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, this time with an editorial about the sim and our community. While the sim is almost out, like we said before, and while most of the community is thrilled about it, some voices still raised against it. I therefore felt the need to express my own thoughts about what's happening, as it's incredible how much we are getting, the technology feat that Microsoft and Adobe are accomplishing, and how much people are missing. This is the first time in a long time that Microsoft is releasing a flight simulator, and they have gone all in. The amount of technology around the sim is fantastic. The flight models were fully redone and revamped. The scenery is great for VFR by using other products by Microsoft to make it lifelike. We're getting real-time air traffic, which was something being asked by the community for years, and a lot of other cool things that this sim is bringing to the table. And all of a sudden, all this doesn't matter anymore for a lot of people, and for the most selfish reasons, or just because they feel like complaining. It's sad to see this happening, so I decided to write a bit of a call to arms to our fellow simmers. Don't discard a sim just because of rumors you have heard or because you don't understand the product. Give it time to be released and mature, and please find information from the right sources, like for example, Microsoft's official website. It may be a flop in the long run, or it may be a success. But one thing is for sure, we should all give it a real shot. Otherwise, we will just continue to shoot down sims, and we'll never see our hobby really evolve. I am now down my soapbox again. Let's go back to some news with the release of Wycombe Air Park for Prepared by ORBX. A few months ago, Pilot Plus released their Wycombe Air Park definitive scenery for X-Plane, which is a quite wonderful product. And now they have finished their work for Prepared, and they are publishing through ORBX. The airfield opened in 1941 as a Royal Air Force training base during World War II, and it remained as a military base until 1965. A lot of the 19,000 annual flights that take place there are training flights, and a few of those are actually helicopter training flights. Oh yes, and just like in the X-Plane version, Pilot Plus has also added an external helipad at Cliveden House. Find out the link to buy it on the video description. We finished the week with VSKYLABS showing their upcoming R44 for X-Plane. The company continues to work on the Robinson family for X-Plane, and after the previous release of the R66, it's time for the R44 to take shape. According to a post on their Facebook page, VSKYLABS plans on releasing an analog panel as well as the glass panel that is also part of the R66. The R44 is still in very early stages of development, and VSKYLABS has only released a sneak peek of the 3D model so far. Obviously, we don't have a date of release yet. This should be a very welcome addition to the helicopter family in X-Plane. And that was the last news of the week. thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like. Don't forget you can subscribe to our channel and get a notification each time we have a video up. If you'd like to support what we do here at HeliSimmer.com, please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/HeliSimmer. Your help and support are very important, and it helps us doing what we have been doing for 4 years now. I will be seeing you all next week. Until then, take care and fly safe.